I had been hesitant about attending the reunion. High school reunions were never my thing, but my wife, Sophie, insisted. "It'll be fun," she said. "You'll get to see everyone, reconnect, laugh." I trusted her judgment, so I agreed, not knowing that night would change everything I thought I knew about her. We arrived together. The gymnasium was decorated with banners, balloons, and the awkward mix of nostalgia and forced excitement that only reunions can bring. People laughed, hugged, and swapped stories. I was trying to keep up, to smile, to mingle when I saw him. Jake. Jake, her ex-boyfriend from high school. Tall, confident, the one she had never stopped talking about during our dating years, always bringing him up with a laugh or a wistful smile, a hint of what I thought was nostalgia, but now felt like an invisible tether to the past. At first, I thought nothing of it. People hug old friends all the time, right? But then it happened. She saw him across the room and froze, her eyes lit up in a way I hadn't seen directed at me in years, and then she walked toward him. I stayed still, uneasy, as she crossed the floor, and he, smiling, hands outstretched, met her halfway. She embraced him, not a casual hug, not a friendly pat on the back, a lingering full-body embrace that spoke of intimacy, familiarity, and something more than just friendship. I felt my chest tighten, my stomach drop. I stepped closer, thinking she would at least glance at me, but she didn't. I might as well have been invisible. I couldn't breathe. She had never looked at me that way in years, not with that kind of warmth, that kind of longing. And for a fleeting, gut-wrenching moment, I realized that some part of her heart had always belonged to him. Then, without warning, she stiffened, her body sagging in his arms. Her face went pale, and her grip loosened. Panic set in around me. People noticed, rushing toward her. I ran forward, heart hammering, trying to reach her as she collapsed to the floor. She's fainted!" someone shouted. I dropped to my knees beside her, hands trembling, trying to lift her, to stabilize her. Her eyes fluttered open briefly, glazed, confused. I could smell the faint perfume she always wore, the scent I had once associated with comfort, love, and home. But now, it was tainted with shock, fear, and betrayal. What happened?" I asked, my voice breaking. I don't know," she whispered, tears mingling with her panic. I felt dizzy. Everything spun. Medical staff from the event arrived quickly, helping her to a chair, giving her water, checking her pulse. I stayed by her side, holding her hand, but inside, my mind was racing, not with fear for her health, but with the crushing reality of what I had just witnessed. That embrace, that look in her eyes, that absence of me in a moment that should have been shared together. Once she recovered, I tried to speak with her privately. "Sophie, tell me what just happened," I said gently, though my heart was pounding. She avoided my eyes. "It's nothing. I just fainted." "I'm fine now," she insisted, but her voice trembled, the same trembling that had come with the confession she had always seemed afraid to voice. I didn't push. Not yet. Instead, I retreated to a quiet corner, watching her interact with Jake. Every laugh, every casual touch, every lingering glance was a dagger to the chest. I realized then that it wasn't just a high school crush. This was deeper. Something she had never truly let go of. Something that had always been a secret she carried, and now it was front and center in my life. Undeniable. That night, after the reunion, we drove home in silence. The car felt suffocating. The tension was thick, almost tangible. Finally, I asked, my voice low, steady, but heavy with betrayal, "Do you still have feelings for him?" She didn't answer immediately. Her hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, knuckles white. Then finally she whispered, barely audible, I don't know. I never stopped thinking about him." The words hit me harder than any punch, any betrayal I had experienced before. The trust, the commitment, the vows we had shared, all of it felt like it was being rewritten in that instant. The following days were a blur. I confronted her, demanded honesty, and tried to understand how someone I loved could harbor such feelings while living a life with me. The more she tried to explain, the more I realized the gap between us had been widening for years, unnoticed, buried under routine and shared responsibilities. Eventually, I had to make a choice: stay and live with the quiet, gnawing betrayal, or leave and reclaim my dignity, my peace, and my sense of self. I chose the latter. Walking away wasn't easy. The memories, the shared life, the moments that once felt sacred, they all came rushing back in waves of grief and heartbreak. But that night at the reunion, the embrace, the collapse, the confession, it forced me to see the truth I had ignored for too long. Some betrayals aren't about lies or infidelity. They're about absence, about devotion misplaced, about love given to someone else while pretending to be shared with you. I left the next week. I didn't shout, didn't scream. I simply packed, took the essentials, and walked away from the life that no longer honored me. Looking back, I realized that night was a turning point. The collapse wasn't just physical, it was symbolic, a breaking point that revealed the fractures in our marriage. And while it hurt like hell, it also gave me clarity. Some people are never truly yours, no matter how much you love them. I still carry the image of that embrace in my mind, the way she held him like I didn't exist, the way her eyes lingered on a past that should have stayed there. But I also carry the lesson: trust yourself enough to walk away from those who cannot value you fully. Betrayal is brutal, yes, but survival, self-respect, and truth are worth far more than any shared history with someone who isn't fully yours.